Come with me as I take a look at what I spent in the month of March. Hello and welcome back to First Gen Money. If you are new here, I am Danielle and I talk about all things navigating life, money, relationships, and mental health from a first gen perspective. So today we're going to take a look at my spending for the month of March. I made a video earlier, a couple weeks ago, talking about my goal for increasing my net worth in 2023. So because of that goal that I have, I am trying to save and invest more this year, making a concentrated effort there so that I can grow my net worth. Therefore, I have to go back to the basics. I have to go back to tracking every single expense, which I will admit I kind of stopped doing. I was like, okay, set it and forget it. I'm good. I don't need to track every single dollar anymore. I'm past that. But, for this goal, it's going to take that extra attention. And so I wanted to spend some time really focused every end of the month, beginning of the month, looking at the expenses, looking at what happened the month before, where I'm going the month ahead. So let's take you to my spreadsheet and I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so we are in my Amigas Get Money expense tracker. This is a new version. So this is a new template that I am working on. I still have not updated the original one. So if you do want to purchase the tracker for yourself, you will be getting the older version, which is just the calendar and the tracker in this format. Everybody who has the original one will get an email with an updated template. So if you're interested, go grab your tracker in the description below. But let's get into it, okay? Let's start with the summary. Let's look at the summary. We have the monthly must pays, which is exactly what it sounds like. Things I need to pay on a monthly basis, no matter what. We have our regular expenses, we have our debt category, and we have our savings and investments. I forgot to add something. I quickly had to go in and add my HSA. The debt category, the savings and investments, and that total there to have the overall summary of what money, where money went in the month of March. Then we moved down to income. I have my salary, both paychecks, and I have a refund from my employer as well. We can clear this. And that is a total of $7,462. Okay, so real quick, because I'm trying to figure out how to best represent this data. You will see my income is significantly less than my summary, right? So if my monthly must pays and my expenses and all that I saved and invested is more than what I made, where is the deficit, right? Where is that 2,000 and plus? Where'd that go? So this income is just my post-tax dollar income. So this is my net income, not my gross income. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this in the spreadsheet is. Like, how do you represent your savings plus, what your accurate income was for that without having to include how much you paid in taxes to make it an accurate assessment. But anyway, getting too into the weeds of it, still trying to work on that formula, but that's why you see that 9,000 is way higher than what you see my post-tax income was. Okay, spending money, I'm still trying to work through what this actually will look like in this new template. So I left that one blank here. But now let's go into the actual breakdown in categories. So we have my monthly must pays, and these are the things, again, that I must pay on a monthly basis. We have my phone bill, Peloton, internet. I pay internet for 2 homes, my Brooklyn apartment, and then my family's house. I pay for pet insurance. I obviously pay rent, video editing that I didn't actually do for the month of March, and storage for both Google and Apple. Therapy, of course, Netflix, and a gym membership. So that's blank. Heat and electricity did not show up just yet because that I am trying to figure out with Ari what that is. So we have to come to that together. So that hasn't really been determined yet. But those were the things that I paid. So for housing, my rent, $1,300 $100. That is my portion of the rent that we have for our 3-bedroom in Brooklyn. Our internet for the apartment is 66, which I feel like is kind of, I don't know. I mean, that is in total. So actually that's not so bad. If I paid for half of it, it'd only be 33. Phone bill is 54. I don't know. I have Visible and I started out with a $25 phone bill and they've just been increasing those price points, but still like pretty good, I think, if you ask me. So those are my monthly must pays. Like the big one here obviously is my rent at the $1,300. But the second biggest monthly expense is my video editing, which again is part of like having a business, so First Gen Money. And then therapy is third, but not bad, not bad. So those are the monthly must pays that I have. Now let's look at each expense, right? So I also have a category of just like an expense recap to kind of see a summary. So we're not going through each thing one by one. And the two things I always like to look at is my grocery bill and my eating out bill. So if you look at that eating out bill, that's $620 eating out. Let's investigate. Because I also spend a lot of money on groceries. So what I'm gonna do here, just because I like to just break down what I'm looking at, the view. So let's do eating out and groceries. Let's see where this money went. The month I did Cook Unity. I love their meals. This is definitely something that we did for convenience. I did not add Ari's half to this, but I have to update it because 79 was for 2 people. So yeah. Pizza. I'm always eating pizza, so that makes sense. Groceries, we went to the supermarket at the beginning of the month. Interesting that we still went to the supermarket even though we did get meals from Cook Unity. So that's something that's interesting to think about. And you know what? We're no longer doing Cook Unity, not because it's not great. I love their meals and I love not having to cook, but we are trying to be more mindful about making the food ourselves and just thinking about what we're putting in our bodies, like, you know, knowing the exact ingredients that are going into our meals. So that's something that I know we won't have for the month of April. Then we have, we went out to a Greek restaurant around here. That was lovely. And that was $62. Supermarket again that same day. I went out to eat for a ladies' night in Williamsburg. That was a really nice drink, sangria. We had tapas, a really nice meal. Thai food, groceries again. I put our protein powder that we make our smoothies with as groceries, so that's also listed here. Then I went to brunch. Interesting. When did I go to brunch? Oh, okay. As a friend group, we went to brunch. I got Ari that chicken from Target, sushi for my sister's birthday. So that was kind of like, this is the thing about like the old tracker that I love is that we have a calendar. And so in my Google Calendar, now I'm transitioning to just like using that as like where I keep track of all of the events that I have coming up. And so the thing about March is we have 2 birthdays. We have 2 big birthdays, my little sister and Ari. And so I will get into this, but that's what that eating out is for, sushi for birthday. Then we did a Trader Joe's run because we were home that weekend. Ate out again that same night. Every time we go home, we come back and we're like, let's eat out. You know, like we just got home. We just drove from Jersey. Let's eat out. Forkable is like that plan that we do at work and we get a $15 stipend. And so it was $15.50. So I had to pay the difference. Ari's birthday party, we had a pizza for our friends. And so that was $100 for my portion. We also went to the grocery store to get a bunch of like chips and ingredients to make eggplant sliders. So that was an added expense. And we were gonna make that in addition to the pizza. So we thought we'd get less pizza, but we ended up getting way more pizza than we actually needed. It is officially dark out, so we have the light on while Ari makes us some popcorn so we can watch Succession after this. But okay, so let's go back to what we were talking about. For Ari's birthday, we bought pizza. We also got groceries at Wegmans. So just for that Friday night, my portion was $212, just for the food component of it. Then the next morning we got bagels, just like everybody who slept over. So there's that. Then I took Ari out to eat for his birthday, just me and him. And then I had a coffee date with a friend and ended March with ramen. So the 31st, we decided to eat out. That's where the $620 for eating out went. That seems pretty high, but honestly, given those bigger expenses with the birthday dinners, what I want to do differently, and we'll go into the questions that I ask myself at the end of every month, but it is something to keep in mind, right? This groceries and eating out. Is my average grocery bill $368? Is that normal for somebody who's also spending $620 eating out? I don't know. I feel like with that amount of eating out expenses, I probably should have had less groceries, but I think the grocery category is high again because of that birthday celebration we had for Ari. Okay, so let's select all so we don't filter this view, and let's go back to the expenses recap. Housing, I do not include right now my monthly must pay, which would obviously say rent is part of housing, but for this portion it was just the toilet paper, so this was just a housing miscellaneous expense. We spoke about groceries. Transportation includes everything from gas to our Easy Pass. So let's take a look at transportation so we see a little close. Oh, and it messes up everything else when we do this filtering. But okay, MTA, so that's the subway. We actually had to get a new tire. We didn't get a new tire. We got a used tire, but it was new to us. So that happened in March. Ubers, gas, the Easy Pass, and then transportation to work, which gets reimbursed. Then we have entertainment, $69. That includes drinks, alcohol for Ari's birthday. I consider that entertainment. I don't consider that groceries. That was for fun. And now we have like 20 bottles of tequila for whatever. All right, moving on to personal care. $0 towards personal care in the month of March. Clothing, $104. So what does that consist of? Let's filter for clothing. Let's see what we spent. Okay, $88 on Nuuly. So Nuuly is a subscription that I have used from time to time. And I rent 6 pieces of clothing for the month, right? So in March, I decided to rent on Nuuly for save the date photos that we ended up not taking because we just didn't need to add another item in our wedding budget. And so we're like, that one's an easy one to cut. We don't need to pay for the photography. Like, let's just keep it as is. So I ended up not really using any of the clothes that I rented out, but it was still an expense. Oh, I forgot to see what the other one was. Let's see. And thrifting. Oh, I bought a glittery shirt. It's red. It's not glitter. I have to show you, but I did that. I bought that for the Taylor Swift concert. I also bought a dress at BCBG dress. I think it's BCBG. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I always need dresses. So let me buy that dress for a potential wedding that I'll be going to. And that was $16, those 2 items. Gifts and donations. So what do I have here? Okay, so I bought my sister a 21st birthday cake. I'm gonna put a picture of it here. Beautiful cake, beautiful cake. I also asked the Pretty Please Cakes, who makes these cakes, I asked her to buy like bottles of alcohol to put on the cake. And so that's the extra charge here. I also have a birthday card that I bought for Ari. So I typically make cards, but I just haven't been inspired to make them lately. And so Ari got a purchased birthday card this year, and that was $6.78. So my gifts and donations total is $18.78 for this month, or for March. Miscellaneous, interesting. What is miscellaneous? Okay, these are my subscriptions. So the New York Times and Wall Street Journal. Usually I get those reimbursed by work for my learning and development stipend, but we're taking a workshop, and that as a team, I think it was gonna wedding. Okay, so we did pay for a deposit for the venue. So that was like the original, like just the binder fee. And then we paid our DJ a deposit as well. I did not incorporate the larger deposit that was made. So that's something I'm gonna have to go retroactively add, because I see that that's missing. And then eating out, we already talked about. But those are my expenses for the month of March. And I'm gonna unfilter this because I don't like the filtered view. Those are my expenses for the month of March. Now, debt payments, I did not add anything here. I'm still thinking about how I want to do this, because maybe it's not like debt payments, but just like when I paid off my credit card. I have this here because I know some people do make occasional debt payments and they want to be able to track that as well. So if that's something that you do, you would put that in here. Now, savings and investments. I have my paycheck going in 3 different places, right? So I have a savings account, I have 2 checking accounts. Well, now I have it going 4 places, 3 checking accounts. The main saving account that I have it going towards is just like the main account right now. And that's what I'm using to build up that 12-month fund. That first paycheck that came in on the 15th got $1,800. The second paycheck also got the $1,800. And then I, just for my 401k, $986. $1,096. I have to go and double check why that is, because I'm pretty sure I had only been contributing. Oh, you know why? I think it's because I do it instead of, it doesn't let me do a specific amount. It makes me do a percentage. So I have to make sure that it doesn't keep adding that same amount, because then I might add too much into that account. And the max that you can add is $22,500. And then my HSA. So the total for savings and investments we saw was $58.78. This here is just the summary in a pie chart, right? So you can see 70 or 59% of all of the total money went towards saving and investing. Now this will probably drop next month, because I'm thinking ahead already to like the things that I have coming up in April, and I have my parents' life insurance premium, or yes, the premium to pay, and that's an annual cost of $1,400 that gets taken out. So I think that'll be less in April, so something to think about. My must pays, 20% of this whole total, and my expenses 20%. So expenses in general is 40%. Now let's look at the money journal. We have a beginning of the month, and I have to update this end of the month, right? So the idea is that at the beginning of the month, you write what's coming up, what challenges you foresee, and then you go back and you look at this for the end of the month. So let's do this for the end of the month, because I did not do it for the beginning of the month, and let's go through each one. So where did you spend that you weren't expecting to? Honestly, I have to go back to doing this, where I used to do the sinking funds for birthdays. So I think that birthdays came up and I was able to pay for them because I was able to pay for them, but I would have wished to have like anticipated the expense that was gonna come with the birthdays. So my sister's birthday dinner, not so much, but Ari and just the birthday party, I think, was something that I was not expecting. So considering birthday party costs and hosting costs, really, that's just something that I know, like, we're gonna wanna have parties for our birthday, and thinking about those costs ahead of time and creating sinking funds for them is really important. So it doesn't come to the end of the month and we're like, why did we spend $200+ just on the food portion or whatnot? Okay, did you reach any challenges or saving goals? So basically, if I were doing like a no spend challenge, this is where I would say that. Okay, so this doesn't reflect it in my expenses, but I think a win was starting to cook food at home again. We had been doing Cook Unity for basically all of February. So being able to cook at home, make meals for ourselves again was a reminder that we can do this. We can go back to just like making food for ourselves. How did this month's spending line up with your values? I spent time with friends and family. We ate out, we ate in. Yeah, I did a lot of socializing. So that is in line. Let's go into April. April is pretty empty. So, okay, well, we can check that off. We know we paid rent already. It's April 3rd as I'm recording this. But let's go through the questions. So what is coming up this month that might impact my savings goals? Life insurance premium. Payment is due, and I did not create a separate sinking fund for it. Paycheck will be allocated to that bill. I think that's the main one. And this is where you would pull up your calendar. So let's pull up the Google Calendar. You would pull up the month, right? And you would look at what you're doing this month, right? So I'm going home this month for Easter. Don't think that's gonna really do anything. I am going to San Francisco for work, but that might not get in the way with things. Yeah, this month is a pretty chill month. Nothing too happening. Where do I want to challenge my spending this month? You know what I'm gonna write?
Eating in and, well, not eating. Spending less on my food. Spending less on food. Spending less on food. Eating in more and opting for dine-out experiences versus takeout.
So that's a big one. Which value do I want to focus my spending on? Well, I think I talked about this. I really want to just like take care of myself this month. So personal care and wellness. And yes, I am, therapy is considered that. And so I think maybe that shouldn't have been 0, but I think when I'm thinking about personal care, I'm also thinking about like, I want to get my toes done. Like I want to just like take care. Maybe I get a haircut this month because my hair has been insufferable.
Okay. Wellness, maybe consider haircuts and nails. All right, so
that is April. We will come back and see how that spending is. But before I go, I want to quickly, because this is all in alignment with tracking my net worth, we have to go in. We have to see where that net worth is. Are making our way up with $92K, $381. Closely monitoring that net worth because again, this all ties back to increasing that net worth. So there you have it. That is what I spent in a month living in Brooklyn. That is where my money went this month. That is how we're making progress towards our goals. If you have a specific money goal that you're focused on in April, let me know in the comments. You know, I'm gonna be looking at my eating expenses very closely to make sure that it is not as high as it was for March. But I look forward to hearing what you're working on this month. See you next time.